Well, ladies and gentlemen, when it rains, it pours, right? When it rains, it freaking pours. Or at least that's what it feels like every day in America now under Joe Biden. Because we're especially, it especially feels that way when it comes to the foreign wars section of our society. The foreign policy under this administration has just been a complete and total disaster. You got the war in Ukraine. You got the war in Israel. You got the getting troops out of Afghanistan. Every single bit of foreign policy under this administration just feels like it has been a disaster. It truly has. It truly feels that way. It's been a complete and utter disaster. And of course, today we get the news that it has gotten even freaking worse. We got this story from CBS News: Russian military exercises in the Caribbean. What to expect? Let me just explain to you again what that just said. Russia will be doing naval and air military exercises in Cuba right in our backyard. Now, of course, many of you might remember, many of you are probably old enough to remember, the Cuban Missile Crisis. Cuban Missile Crisis was a big freaking deal when it happened. It was a massive deal. Russia, the Soviet Union, placing nuclear weapons on the island of Cuba, right in our backyard. The last time that Russia was this close, the Russian Navy, the Russian Air Force was this close to the U.S., it got really heated, man. There was some tense situations that quite literally almost caused the nuclear destruction of these two countries, of Russia and the United States. That's how tense this got. Yet, of course, for whatever reason, these headlines are very tame. They're a little soft, if you will. Now, I have my theories, and I'm going to get to why I think these headlines are so soft. But first, let's get into the news from CBS News. Russian military exercises in the Caribbean. Here's what to expect. 3 Russian ships and a nuclear-powered submarine are expected to arrive in Cuba this week ahead of military exercises in the Caribbean, officials said. While the exercises aren't considered a threat to the U.S., American ships have been deployed to shadow the Russians, U.S. officials told CBS News. Now, why are these not considered a threat to the U.S.? Why? I'm genuinely confused. Why would they not be considered a threat? The media has been screaming in our faces for the last, 2 years now? 3 years, ever since this war in Ukraine started, that Putin and the Russian military is the second coming of Hitler and the second coming of the Nazis. That's what they've been telling us. He's worse than Hitler. He's trying to conquer Europe like Hitler did. And now that this so-called Hitler's Navy is in our backyard, they're no threat to the U.S.? What's the deal here? I'm going to get to that just a second. Let's continue. The Russian warships are expected to arrive in Havana on Wednesday and stay until next Monday. Excuse me. Excuse me, guys. Got a bit of a cough. Cuba's foreign ministry said in a statement, a U.S. official told CBS News and national security correspondent David Martin, the U.S. intelligence community has assessed that the submarine in the group is nuclear powered but isn't carrying nuclear weapons. How would you know? How would you know that? It's a nuclear powered submarine that has the capability to carry and fire nuclear missiles. How would you, did you call up the Russians and ask them if they had a nuclear weapon at our doorstep? Do you seriously think they would tell us? I got to be honest. I don't understand how they would come by this information. Oh, it's nuclear powered, but it isn't carrying a nuclear weapon. How? How do you figure that out? I don't know. Tell me down in the comments section. I'm genuinely confused as to how they came to this conclusion that this submarine is not carrying nuclear weapons. Let's continue. We have no indication and no expectation that nuclear weapons will be at play here in these exercises or embarked on those vessels. White House National Security spokesman John Kirby told CBS News senior White House and political correspondent Ed O'Keefe last week. According to the Cuban Foreign Ministry, the 3 Russian ships are a frigate, a fleet oil tanker, and a salvage tug. The 3 ships and the submarine were heading across the Atlantic separately, the U.S. official told Martin. 2 American destroyers and 2 ships that tow sonar equipment behind them are shadowing the shattering the submarine, the U.S. official told Martin. Another destroyer and a U.S. Coast Guard cutter are shadowing the 3 Russian ships. The ship's arrival in Havana, which the Cuban Foreign Ministry said is expected to include the fanfare of 1 Russian ship firing 21 salvos in a salute to Cuba, comes ahead of Russia carrying out air and naval exercises in the Caribbean in the coming weeks, a different U.S. official told Martin. Now, I got to be honest with you. I am worried about this. I am, personally. Not because of Russia, though. Not because of Russia. But first, let me get to this headline. Let me get to this headline here. CBS News, Russian military exercises in the Caribbean. Here's what to expect. Like I said, CBS News, other mainstream media has been screaming at us for months, years even, that Putin is evil, that Russia is evil, Russia is the enemy, Russia needs to be dealt with, NATO should invade them, all of these things, okay? But now suddenly that Russia's in our backyard, suddenly they're not a threat. Now, you can make your own conclusions. Personally, I think that the media is trying not to scare all of the people that have been blindly supporting them and supporting these Democrat politicians, pushing for us to support the war in Ukraine. That's personally the vibe that I get from this, okay? The media and the Democrats are worried that if the people that have been blindly following them realize, holy crap, Russia's in our backyard, this could very easily get heated and pop off at any freaking moment. Shells could be fired onto the mainland of the U.S. Missiles could be raining over our cities at any moment. If the people that have been blindly supporting the Democrats and blindly supporting the media's cause of pushing this war in Ukraine and pushing U.S. involvement in the war in Ukraine, if those people realize that their support for this stupid war in Ukraine will result or could possibly result in Russian naval ships raining missiles down on their cities, they would stop supporting the war. At least that is the vibe that I get from this. That is the opinion that I am carrying. Tell me what you think down in the comments. I really do think that they are trying to lessen they're trying to soften their ire towards Russia in these specific moments and these coming days and weeks of these military exercises going on, because they do not want to scare their own supporters into saying, whoa, we didn't sign up for this. We signed up for the war to be over there, away from us, on the other side of the planet. That's what we signed up for. We didn't sign up for Russian naval ships to be in our backyard within striking distance, within missile firing distance of our cities. Oh, but you did, though. You did. You did sign up for this, ladies and gentlemen. See, did you seriously believe that Russia was just going to sit here and continue to say, oh, well, the U.S. isn't involved? Even though they're sending volunteers, they're sending weapons, they're providing Ukraine with intelligence that is resulting in hundreds of thousands of deaths of our soldiers, strikes on our own homeland. But of course, that the U.S. isn't really involved, though. Like, did you really think that that's what Russia was going to think? No. Russian state media and Russian officials have outright said, we are at war with NATO and we are at war with the U.S. Putin has many times over threatened to strike U.S. territory. And now that we're here, now that we're in a situation where it all could go down, where it all could get heated, oh, now the media wants to, oh, they're not really a threat. They're gaslighting you, ladies and gentlemen. They're gaslighting you. Now, the reason why I am worried about this is not because of Russia. I personally, and I could be wrong, of course. I could be wrong. This is speculation, okay? I don't have any real evidence of this. This is speculation. But I truly believe that these are legitimately just military exercises. The thing that worries me about this is our own government, is the United States government. We have seen in the past that our government has no problem committing false flags in order to get what they want. Okay? You have the Gulf of Tonkin false flag in the Gulf of Tonkin over in Vietnam that got us involved in the Vietnam War. Okay? You have, of course, a very fiery incident that happened the last time that we were, no, well, not the last time, the very first time that we were getting heavily involved in Cuba, when Spain used to control the island of Cuba. And of course, we were having some tensions with Spain at the time, and our navy surrounded the island of Cuba. And we decided, our government, it is speculated, let's be honest, it's very likely, but it is speculated that our government committed a false flag by blowing up one of our own ships, and that false flag is what allowed us to blame that explosion on our own ship, on the Spanish, on the Cubans, and that allowed us the ability to declare war and to invade the island of Cuba and to take over the island of Cuba and to take it from the Spanish, which we did. That's exactly what happened. So we have seen in the past, it is very likely that the U.S. has zero issue committing false flags to get involved in wars or to start wars. And we know full well that the U.S. government under Joe Biden has been very adamant about stopping Putin's invasion of Ukraine. And they have on many occasions, along with members of NATO, stated that they would like to be able to get personally involved with boots on the ground. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not scared of Russia and their 3 ships in the Caribbean. I am worried about the fact that we are going to have U.S. ships shadowing these other ships from Russia, and these ships are scheduled to do a 21 salvo, this 21 round salvo. That seems like an opportunity, does it not? What if one of these, just one of these 21 salvos just so happened to, hit one of our naval ships that are shadowing them? Look, I'm not saying that this is going to happen. And please don't misunderstand me. I'm hoping and praying that it does not. Okay? All I'm saying is, do you really trust our government, who has been adamant about getting involved in this war? And Joe Biden is struggling in the polls. Do you seriously think that they wouldn't? If it helped them to hold on to power, if it gave them the ability to hold on to the power and hold on to the control over the most powerful government on the planet, you seriously think they wouldn't? I don't know. Personally, I think they would. You guys can tell me what you think. I think they would. I would not put it past these people. Our government has shown in the past that they are very willing to do this. They're willing to sacrifice their own citizens. They're willing to sacrifice their own military. They're willing to do whatever it takes to get what they want to hold on to power. Excuse me. I don't know. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. I know that they seem to be downplaying this quite a bit. They're trying not to scare you. They're trying not to, scare all of their Democrat supporters away that have supported this war in Ukraine, so long as the war is all the way over there on the other side of the planet. But once it gets in your own backyard and suddenly you are in the line of fire, it gets real different real quick, ladies and gentlemen. You talk to anybody in the military that has been in real combat with bullets flying at their faces, they will tell you, you have no idea. You have no idea what war is like. You will cower like a child. I would cower like a child in a real world war-like situation where I got people who want to kill me shooting at me. I got no experience in that situation. Now, I would hope that I wouldn't, cower like a child. But let's be honest, I got no idea what that situation is like. I got no experience in that. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't want war here. We do not want this. Please. We have a decision to make coming soon here in America. Many decisions to make as to who we are going to allow to lead our country. Somebody that's going to continue to push us further and further towards World War III with no off-ramp, or someone that's going to ease the tensions, someone who can actually get into office and actually have conversations with these other countries, unlike our imbecile in chief who can barely speak a sentence and poops himself on stage in France. Kid you not, go look at the video. Kind of looks like he pooped himself. Oh, you're speculating. Is it really? Dude's like 1,000 years old. You think he can control his bowels? Your guess is as good as mine, but I'm pretty good guess that he can't. Got to be honest. Like think about how insane that is. Think about how insane that right there ought to tell you the state of our country. We're arguing over whether our president pooped himself. Are you kidding me? That's the state of our country? That's where we're at? Guys, come on. What are we doing? What is this? Seriously? This is the best we have to offer. Joseph Robinette Biden. This is the best we have? A freaking geriatric that wears diapers and poops himself regularly. Come on, guys. I got to be honest. I don't think Donald Trump's going to get in and fix all of our problems. I don't. He's not going to fix every single issue that this country has, but he can fix a heck of a lot of them. Heck of a lot of them. English is hard, like I said. Regardless, he can fix a lot of our problems, guys. Especially this one. Because Donald Trump is going to get in on day one and he's going to say, look, we're done supporting this war. $200 billion of your money that have gone to a war that you will receive no benefit from except Russia putting ships in your backyard that could rain missiles over your city. Where's the benefit here? Where? I can't see it. I don't know, guys. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like a good deal to me. Seems like we're losing on this deal. I don't know. You tell me down in the comments what you think. I'm going to leave it there. I'll have another video coming for you guys some point this week. My schedule's been very crazy recently. Been doing a lot of overtime at work, so it's been wild trying to keep videos coming out on the channel. I'm going to leave it there. I'll have another video coming for you guys soon. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you hit that like button down Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, leave a comment down in the comment section, and share the show with your friends. Follow me on all the socials down in the description and hit that notification bell so that you can be notified whenever we put out new videos. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.